Hi everyone, welcome to today's video, which as we can already see is not coming from somewhere nice outside, it's coming from my home setup. So this is video number 1, where you'll be seeing me in my home office area, where I will be talking tech stuff and everything to do with photography and video. Today's video, as you can already tell from the title, is what's in my camera bag 2021. I'm going to be showing you folks at home exactly what it is that I carry on a daily basis, whether that is covering YouTube work, video work or photography work. So that is what we are going to cover, and today we're going to get into a couple of different categories, showing you exactly what's in my bag, starting off with category number 1. My bag, which is what I bring around with me everywhere, whether that's photography or video, is the Lowepro ProTactic 450AW, which is all-weather version, which, as you can probably already see, is an absolute tank of a camera bag. And when you get a camera bag, folks, make sure that you remember exactly what it is that you're putting in it. Everything you put in your camera bag is basically needed to be protected by the bag itself. We've all bought cheap, nasty bags off Amazon where they're about 18, 20 quid, and you get them and they're like tissue paper. This is, even though it's an expensive bag, it is an absolute tank with all the ribbon on it, where you can attach little accessories that you can get from Lowepro themselves. I currently don't really have anything, I just have the bottle holder and I have the tripod holder. I don't really use all the webbing for anything else, but in terms of a camera bag, this thing is an absolute unit. It carries everything and it carries it easily. It's comfortable to wear with the shoulder straps, which has a chest harness on it as well, and also has a little harness for going around your waist, which has a nice little pocket on the side here where I actually just keep my spare battery, so it's always at hand whenever I need to change over if I'm out and about vlogging. So if we have a little look inside, there are different compartments within the bag, which, as you can see, is pretty darn big inside. It is nice and deep, so it will hold big DSLR cameras such as, you know, the Canon 1DX Mark 1, 2 and 3. It is nice and deep, it's strong, it's sturdy, it's rigid, it holds little pockets here, there and everywhere, and it's fully customizable. It's currently empty now, so that all my gear is on the floor, which we will talk about. This is probably, I think, my 3rd bag, if we don't include any of the cheap, nasty ones that I got off Amazon. Those ones are just terrible, and I wouldn't keep a roll of tissue paper in them, because, to be fair, I think the tissue paper is a little bit stronger. But even though this is expensive, when you think of it in terms of how expensive the gear is, which is contained inside of it, it is an investment well worthy of paying. So this is my everyday carry bag. I do have 2 different bags, which I can show you now. I also have the Lowepro, I think it's the Lowepro Tahoe BP 150, and as you can already see, it's a nice cute little bag. I usually bring this when I shoot weddings, because obviously it's a lesser load and I don't need to carry everything. Inside, nice neat compartment. As you can already see, it's not as big as the ProTactic 450, but in terms of camera bag, this is a nice cheap little bag, strong, very good quality, because Lowepro are the kings of camera bag and camera bag quality. Lots of nice little zips here, there and everywhere, side pockets. This has less in terms of harnesses for your chest or things like waist straps. It just has your general kind of backpack sort of straps on the shoulders. So yeah, like I said, I use this to switch up. I usually, when I do weddings, I bring the Nikon Z6, which is what I'm shooting on now, and I bring my Nikon D610, which is currently on the floor, which we'll get into in the next categories. Yeah, in terms of camera bags, folks, these 2 are very, very good options. Lowepro are, for me, the kings of camera bags. So if you do need a camera bag, then Lowepro is my first choice and my first recommendation to you folks at home. So that's the bag itself. That is just my little bag. The 450 is a unit of a bag, and I think everybody would benefit from having one of them. So on to the next category, which is cameras, camera lenses and drones. So let's go into category number 2. Next up is lenses, cameras and drones. Now my 4 lenses are the Sigma f2.8 70-200, Sigma R f2.8 24-70, the Nikon Z35mm f1.8, and the 14-30 f1.8Z, which I'm currently using to talk to you guys. These are my 4 lenses, which both are able, you know, these 2 can go onto my backup camera. The Z mounts are for the Z6, which I'm currently recording this video on. For weddings, which I cover, which is my main income for photography, I use the 70-200, which is probably my #1 lens and probably my #1 recommendation for anybody out there looking to start photography. This is an absolute beast. It's an f2.8 constant aperture throughout the zoom range, so brilliant in low light, brilliant for close-up shot, brilliant for portraits. It just covers everything. It's just an incredible lens. I'm not going to go too far into the good, the bad and the ugly about each little bit of kit that I show you today. I'm just basically letting you folks know what it is that I use on a daily basis. So this is my #1 lens, the 70-200 f-mount Sigma f2.8, followed closely by the 24-70 Sigma R, which is another 2.8 constant aperture throughout the zoom range, and it is incredible as a photography or a portrait lens. In terms of video, I usually always use the Z35 1.8, fantastic low light, sharp images, unbelievably sharp glass when it's mounted to the Z system, absolutely incredible. And of course the 14-30, which I use for vlogging, and I also use a lot for video really, but even though it's an f4, so it's not the fastest glass, it is a very, very reliable lens. And because it hasn't got a bulbous front, I can add ND filters and I can vlog with it, considering it's still a 14 ultra wide. So I also carry around an F to Z adapter, which allows my f-mount lenses to be adapted to the Z mirrorless system. If you are looking to get into photography and you want to become a wedding photographer, my main tip is make sure you have a backup camera. Now, my backup camera in question is the Nikon D610. This basically is a very, very good mirrored DSLR camera, and basically I have this in my camera bag only as a backup. God forbid, touch wood, that anything would ever happen to my main body when I'm out on a paid shoot, such as a wedding. It has a dual SD card slot, all my cards in there ready to go, but an absolutely tank and a brilliant, reliable camera to have if anything goes wrong with your main camera. Action Cam, which is the DJI Osmo Action. If we just get that out, fantastic little camera, brilliant camera. There's a future video coming out on this where we try and get cinematic shots from this, and also how good of an image can you take using something as little as an action camera. So stay tuned for that. But I always keep that in my bag because sometimes you have to sort of get that creative shot where this might have to get covered in water, hot water, cold water, or has to be dropped even. If without doing something around water or heights, I would rather be using an action camera which can withstand any damage. Next up, the Mavic 2. Now, this is my 3rd drone. I've had the Phantom 4, the original one. I've had the original Mavic Air, which was absolutely awful. Very good in terms of portability. In terms of reliability, not so good, as it would break up image transmission from the drone to the controller, as it didn't have OcuSync 2.0, which what this currently has. This is a fantastic little bit of kit that you can throw in your camera bag. And in terms of reliability, this thing is just absolutely incredible. The 1-inch Hasselblad sensor camera is absolutely phenomenal. The color science that comes out of these and just how far you can push these in post in terms of the flexibility of the photos and the video are just absolutely incredible. Now, the Mavic 2 Pro is, I think it's around 2.5 years old now, and obviously we have the release of the DJI Air 2S, which also has the 1-inch sensor camera on the front and is obviously competing very closely with this. And I think they released that just because I think they have in the pipeline a Mavic 3, which hopefully will be with us very, very soon. That's basically my lenses and my cameras and my drone. Let's go into category number 3. Next up is audio, tripod and ND filters. Now, what I carry around with me on the daily basis to cover everything that I usually do. As an external recorder, I use the Zoom H1N with this little fluffy dead cat on it to reduce any wind noise. Brilliant little bit of kit if you want to make your own sound effects. This is fantastic. I think it was only £99. This was also from Wex Photography, which I will link below. They just are incredible for getting anything camera related, video related. Wex Photo is the ultimate place to shop. When I do vlogs and I'm out and about, I tend to use the Rode Video Micro with a little fluffy dead cat on it. It is a fantastic little microphone. Only problem and only downside with it is when it is on top of the camera and you do turn your camera to sort of show your viewers what it is you want to see, you will actually notice a drop in audio levels because it's not so good picking it from behind. It does prefer to be facing you whilst you are vlogging. Comes with this nice little dead cat. I never really take it off. If I was inside and I was doing something to camera, I would. Currently I'm using a lapel mic, which you can probably already see. It's just to make sure that the audio is crisp and clear when I'm shooting inside. I am hoping to upgrade to the Rode Wireless Go, which means there will be a transmitter placed on top on the hot shoe, and then there will be a wireless system on my shirt with a fluffy little dead cat on the top, which means that you will never lose signal and you can be around 100 150 meters away from your camera and still sound as if you're stood right next to it. So that is what I want to upgrade. It just comes with a few little bits of accessories, comes with a nice little hot shoe mount, and is very, very good for anyone looking to start vlogging, really. So if you want a cheap little sort of reliable, good quality microphone system, I would suggest the Rode Video Micro. Any external sort of sound effects you want to make, or if you want to do some recordings with an external recorder, then the Zoom H1N is a fantastic and highly reliable piece of equipment. Now, when I'm out and about and I'm shooting vlogs or I'm doing something talking to camera, I am often using a tripod. Now, currently the camera is on a tripod. It is on a K&F Concept tripod. I use that really to do my landscape and my long exposures, and that is a very, very big bit of kit to lug around on the back of the bag. But when I'm just out and about doing vlogging to camera, I tend to use this a fantastic little bit of kit. You screw it straight on to the screw mount on the bottom of your camera. Has this nice little button where you can adjust the ball head, and you can do it, and then if you need to set anything down, it sets down nice and easy from there. Also, the Joby GorillaPod, I think this is the 3K version. I think it's not for sort of high-end, really heavy cameras. It's a fantastic little bit of kit. You can sort of hold it out at arm's length and vlog and give your viewers a nice wider sort of field of view so they can see exactly where it is that you are. So I keep these with me at all time. Now, moving on to ND filters. Now, ND filters, we will be going into a video to cover those that little bit more, but I have a ND 1000 which I use for my long exposure. That is made by Hoya. I think this was £100, but absolutely incredible bit of kit to have if you are thinking of starting long exposure photography. Now, this is an 82mm thread size, which goes perfectly with my lenses. There is one lens that it doesn't adapt to straight on, the 35mm prime lens. So we use what's known as step-up rings. They go straight onto the front of your camera, and then the 82mm thread can be threaded straight onto there. So step-up rings are a fantastic little bit of kit. If we didn't have them, we'd have just so many different sized threads for ND filters. So you only need to buy one. The rest is with step-up ring. Now, in terms of filters for the drone, I currently have an ND16 on the drone there, and then I have an ND8 which is from Polar Pro. Fantastic bit of kit. These guys at Polar Pro just make incredible packaging, incredible quality items, and the image quality that comes from these are fantastic. So got the ND8. I've also got the one that comes with the lens itself, which is just a clear filter to protect your lens, and the ND16 which is currently on it. So sticking with Polar Pro, we also have the Peter McKinnon variable ND, which I use. I'm not using it now obviously because I'm indoors and I don't need to reduce the amount of light coming in to the camera, but this is an amazing, rather expensive, but you definitely paying for the quality. The 82mm thread, so it fits straight on to the camera. It is a variable. It is the 2 to 5 stop. I don't know if you can see there, the 2 going over to the 5 stops of light. Absolutely incredible. Comes with this nice little cleaning pouch and a nice little cleaning cloth, which is obviously of Moraine Lake from Peter McKinnon. So it's a Peter McKinnon version, and they are basically my NDs filters that I use on a daily basis. For video, it's the Peter McKinnon. For long exposure, it's the Hoya ND1000, and for the drone, it is the Polar Pro. That is category number 3. Going on to category number 4. Now lastly is bits and bobs. Now some things that I throw in my camera bag, just handy to have at hand whenever I need them. Things like a chest mount for things like Osmo Actions, GoPros. This is actually brand new. I'm hoping to do a video on this in the coming weeks where it will give you guys a point of view of me taking photos and just how I get into certain positions to take those images. Other things, head torch, always good to keep your hands free when you're at night, when you're walking around with your camera gear on your back. I use just this little Energizer head torch, very powerful. Keep a bit of spare batteries in my bag as well in case that ever dies. Always good to have if you are doing things like astrophotography, or if you just get caught up when you're out and about late, maybe doing some sunset shots and you lose track of time. If you do lose track of time and you need to charge things up, I carry things like power bricks, power banks. I've got 2 of these. This is a small one. I also have another one which is charging my RGB light at the moment because that died. And these are always handy to have at a moment's notice if you just need to top something up. They're not powerful enough, or at least I haven't tested them, to charge up things like drone batteries or camera batteries, but in terms of phones or little lights that I need to charge up at a moment's notice, these are fantastic. Other than that, I just keep spare cables. Always good to have cables at hand for different sort of slots and charging points. Always good to have, just throw them in and they don't take up much room, and always handy to have if ever you need them. So that's it. That's my What's in My Camera Bag 2021. I enjoyed making it. I've always wanted to do one. I'm glad I've shown you lovely folks at home exactly what it is that I carry. Hopefully my gear will be, this is it. I've taken quite a few years to get to this point, but if there's anything else that I'm going to get, or I'm going to upgrade or change or get in, you'll be the first to know, and I will be making videos about it. Haven't gone into the nitty gritty of each little bit that I've shown you today because obviously that is going to be in future videos, so stay tuned for them. But hope you enjoyed it. Hope you like what I carry around, and if anybody needs a place to go for camera gear such as lenses, camera bodies, drones, lighting, microphones, anything like that, the #1 place that I go to is Wex Photo. Now these guys are incredible. They're amazing. I get all my stuff from there. So if you are looking for a good, reliable place to get camera gear at a very good price, Wex Photo is the place to go. So apart from that, folks, I hope you enjoyed the video. I will see all your lovely faces on the next one. And remember, as I always say, see the world, capture life. Peace.